Sit back and relax. This is the Serie show coming up.
Hi everyone, my name is Namga Sharita, your host from the Taya Inc Media. Welcome to yet another episode of the Series. With us today in house, we are shining our spotlight on our one Hassan Wasswa, the Prime Minister of the current 22nd Guild at IUIU of Islamic University in Uganda Kampala campus.
Sit back and relax. This is the Serie show.
So who is Hassan Wasswa? Most of you have been wanting to know who he is. Our Prime Minister, very cute, very demure. I'm actually exaggerating. But Hassan Wasswa is a corporate person here who works with Oaxaca. I would say he's the CEO. He will be entailing us into that Oaxaca companies. And he has many more side hustles that you're going to be finding out with us today. So let's go into details with him today. Hassan, please tell us who you are.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon to the viewers and to Madam Sharita. Thank you for having us and Taya Inc as well. As already introduced, I'm Kakembo Hassan Wasswa. I'm a third-year student at IUIU Kampala campus, offering a Bachelor's of Law. I studied at Kawempe Muslim and also at Chivuli for my O-level. I'm currently the CEO of Oaxaca Group of Companies, and also under Oaxaca Group of Companies we have branches. As it's a group of companies, we have the Malamo Snacks Bakery, we have the Oaxaca Catering Services for outdoor caterings, and we also have logistics and tax clearance under Surgical Logistics. Yes, basically that is an overview of who I am at the moment.
So, Mr. Hassan Wasswa, as we hear you are nominated as a Prime Minister, I would ask, how did you get into that office of the Prime Minister at IUIU?
Well, there are some stories that can't be told in just one day, but in a nutshell, as Mr. President was coming into power, Mr. Mkongo Farahan, as he was coming into power, he sat down and thought of potential people who could help him to govern the mighty IUIU Kampala campus. And I wouldn't say that it was obvious that I would have been the only pick, but with God's will,
golden shine on you.
With God's will, I was given the chance and I embraced it. Yes.
Have you ever been in any other leadership positions before being a Prime Minister here?
Yes, actually, I've been a person who has moved in leadership since my primary 5 when I started my first leadership position as a religious prefect at Silver Spoon. Up to to Chivuli, I was part of the associations, most of them. Then I came to Kawempe Muslim where I was the sanitary prefect, and until right now, the guild leadership post that I hold at the moment.
So, being the Prime Minister, what are those key projects or initiatives in your office that you would love to accomplish during your term?
As the Prime Minister, the word accomplish is an impossibility for us because there is too much. It's a lot. But we try as hard as we can to put up something that will leave a legacy for us as Prime Ministers, because we cannot accomplish everything. As heads of government business, we have a lot on our table, and most of the time we have to leave the rest for someone to take over. So as the Prime Minister right now, one of my major goals is aligning associations at IUIU Kampala campus, and that involves the campus nexus, and also to make sure that these associations are actually felt, because they are the bodies that reach the student base, to the last student. All students need somewhere to belong, and these associations actually give them that platform of where to do what? To belong. And also, as the Prime Minister, one of my major things as me, as a person, I would love to implement what they call, how can I say it in an easy way? I'll give an example of Mr. Kagame, the President, His Excellency. The way he does his things. The fact that if something has to be done today, it is done today. That is one of my major goals.
So you do not postpone
Yes,
work.
I don't want to procrastinate. I want to be able to finish what I have, what I can do when it is not still available at that moment, so that I can leave a legacy that things can actually be done as fast as possible. To remove this tradition that has been moving in leadership, both in Uganda and in universities, where people bring up projects and their tenure gets done during the planning phase of projects. So I would love to be that person who starts the project and finishes the project.
That is quite impressive. So there is a question from the students. How do you ensure accountability and transparency in the guild activities? As the Prime Minister, that is your office, most of the times, or when they're ensuring that, let me say, financials, it has to go through the Prime Minister's office before going to the guild president. How do you ensure the accountability and transparency in that?
So thank you for that question. That question is quite broad, but transparency always comes from doing everything in a specified way, not doing things in shady ways. So as a person, I've learned to involve everyone, all stakeholders, in activities and all financial decisions that we make. When you make decisions as one person, you end up failing to be transparent, and accountability becomes hard. And the issue of accountability is actually very hard to keep up with, because you have to keep up with millions of money at your head, knowing that there's these millions of money, and I have to make sure that I know exactly where each cent goes.
So that means the guild is really rich.
The guild is not rich, the students are rich. Because
as about millions,
as I always tell people, the guild is not a basis like a government that has taxes. The guild is the students, because guild leadership depends on the tuition fees that the students pay, and that is why it is important that we are accountable to these students, because it is actually their money that we are using. So we have come up with also that campus nexus that will also help in accountability, to show people the expenses that have been made in different associations and all that. That increases the trust in people, in the governance at IUIU.
Okay, that is quite impressive. So since taking your office as a Prime Minister, what is that one achievement, all those achievements that you have so far gotten and you feel like you're proud of yourself? And how do you measure success according to you?
So as a person right now, at the beginning of our term, when we came to office, we had two bodies in government, two organs. We had the Parliament and the Guild Cabinet. So Mr. President and the Cabinet and the Lady Vice, we sat down and decided to come up with a tribunal, so that we balance and make a government that is legitimate, and also bring out the picture of real governance to the students, because guild leadership is as closest as you get to real life leadership outside there, because the leadership structure in the government of Republic of Uganda is almost a mirror of the leadership in the guild of all universities. So the other thing is, as a Prime Minister, when I came into office, I found a lot of things that were not done. Okay, actually very many things were done in ways that made them look like they were very hard, very difficult to handle. And one of the things I've done is to streamline the line of requisitions, the line of making taking letters out of the campus. I've tried to make things streamlined so that it is easier for leaders to carry out their activities. Yes.
That is quite impressive. So what has been your biggest challenge so far?
One of my biggest challenges, and the challenge to all leaders right now that I see, is the fact that time runs so fast and it doesn't mind what you're doing.
Exactly.
So you may have a project that you hope to finish in 1 month, and by the time you're done with planning, it is 2 months. And as leaders who have almost just 8 months in leadership, it becomes challenging, because you have a dream, but manifesting that dream. And as a Prime Minister, I'm supposed to manifest all the dreams of the government to make sure that by the time we are done, everything that we dreamt to do for the students, our manifesto, is at least 90% complete. So the challenge we face is time, and also the fact that resources are actually very limited. You may have a million right now, but a million yesterday is not a million today. So you find a point that having a million no longer makes sense. So those are the challenges we face right now.
So, as the head of the cabinet, how do you deal with these agreements that you find within the guilds and also the university administration? Because leading a cabinet is not something that is very easy. I appreciate the mere fact that the guild president is there, but most of the issues are addressed by the prime minister. How do you deal with the disagreements in that league?
So I usually tell my members that at the end of the day, we are all human beings. So arguments have to come up, because if they are not there, then we will have no problems to solve. But I've learned to always listen to both parties, because one of the problems we find as leaders is the moment you take one side before you listen to the other side, you actually make wrong decisions most of the time. So I've learned to call people aside, and I've also learned to make sure that these things do not go out to the public. Like if there is a disagreement in the cabinet, then let that disagreement stop in the cabinet. Because the moment it also gets out, then it becomes something else, it becomes large. So there is being that we make sure that arguments and everything is solved amicably, and also that if there is any problem that has been caused by a person, then there shall be consequences, to make sure that those that they should put an example to exemplify that if you do this, there shall be a consequence for that. Yes.
So in the personal insight here, what leadership values guide you as the prime minister in your office?
So as a person, the leadership values that guide me are mostly integrity, respect, and honesty. Those three things.
So as one person who doesn't know what integrity means, what do you mean by
integrity? As a person, I would explain it to be that for someone to be integral, it shows that they work on principle. You don't just work anyhow. You have to have principles as a person in order to have a great leadership. The moment you have no principles, then you cannot lead people, because someone who is not principled cannot lead themselves as a person.
The way you're talking, who inspired you to be a leader?
So as a person, I've seen a lot of leaders, a lot of shows about leaders and all that, but I've been inspired by one of the people that very many people take time to be even inspired from, His Excellency Kagame. Reason why, he's a person of implementation. When he wants something to be done, he takes us back to people like Idi Amin. That when something has to be done, let it be done. These things of compromise, that we shall not do this because this has come, because someone has been corrupt and they're still in office. When something has to be done, let that thing be what?
If it's eliminate, you eliminate.
Yes, you make a decision. Bureaucracy. One of the things I've learned about Kagame is to eliminate bureaucracy.
You have to think for yourself.
Yes, decision making should be quick, so that things can actually move, because that is a challenge you face in leadership.
So what has this role of the prime minister taught you, like changed you personally? Since when you came, the different Hassan that came into office and the Hassan that is right now in office, what has it done in evaluating who you are?
Well, this position has actually had negative and positive implications.
I thought you were actually going to say only negative.
So there are burdens that come with this position. The burdens of knowing things that people don't get to know. I actually call it, you lose your innocence. You get to know things that you actually never wanted to know in your life. For example, when a student comes to you and they're like, I don't have 200,000 for tuition. My father died yesterday. And honestly, you have no solution for them. But you're carrying that burden at your heart. So you're always trying to find a solution. How can I help this person? And that thing actually, it has a way it grows on you, and it makes life a little bit hard. But on the other hand, it teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you how to work on very many things at the same time. Because as a person who is pursuing a bachelor's of law and also holding such an office, it teaches you to multitask. You learn how to actually manage your time very well, and you know that I will read from this time to this time and I will be in office the whole day. Because there is no excuse for failing as a leader. You cannot wake up one morning and say that I failed because I was in what? Leadership. You have to balance these things, because at the end of the day, you are an epitome to the society. So if you fail after having a very successful time in leadership, at the end of the day, people will be like, the man was a great leader, but he failed. And that is something you cannot hold as out as a leader.
So what's that one legacy you hope to leave behind as the former Prime Minister?
So I hope to leave a legacy that however much things are hard, however much you have limited resources, things can actually be done. I want to leave a legacy that the only reason why you're not doing something is because you failed to do it, but not because you can't, it is impossible.
There is another way out, a possibility of doing it. So after this time as a Prime Minister, where do you see yourself? Coming back as the guild president, being the next president of Uganda, being a future MP. You know, you qualify at this stage to be an MP, a president of Uganda.
Yes.
So what are your future insights about that?
Right now, as a person pursuing law, I was hoping to first concentrate on my books, but I have to come back in leadership in all ways. Most likely, I may come back either in councillor position at district level or in MP position.
They should be waiting for you.
Yes.
What advice do you have for the future student leaders around that are inspired by you today?
So, to the future leaders out there, remember that
tell them directly.
There is nothing new that you're going to do. That is one thing I've learned in leadership. There is nothing new you're going to do. People have done it all. But the question is, how are you going to do it? The difference comes from how you're going to do that particular thing. Because I'm going to leave this office in about 3 months or 4 months. But the difference between me and the next leader will be implementation. If they fail to live up to the standards we've put, then they will be termed as a bad leader. If they meet the standards and go beyond what we have put, then they will be termed as good leaders. So as future leaders, never have any barriers. There is nothing that is impossible. It is only impossible because you haven't tried it out yet. But whenever you find a problem, always beat it into small problems, break it down and find those small solutions so that you can conquer the full problem. After that, you'll understand what being a great leader is.
That is quite impressive. So as Taya Inc Media, we do marketing and promotion. Given the opportunity that I had, you are CEO of Oaxaca. So I'm giving you a platform right now to ask those people, those viewers out there, maybe the students or other people outside there, to come and vulture in your business, support you, tell them what to do, where they can find you. Do you have any Instagram, TikTok accounts, YouTube, where they can follow up your works or something like that? Tell us more about your business.
Okay, so as I already told you, I'm the CEO of Oaxaca Group of Companies. And Oaxaca Group of Companies has very many sub-companies under it. We have Malamu Snacks Bakery, which deals in basically back-to-school snacks. There we deal with people going back to school, cookies and daddies and all that, cakes, whatever the sort. Then we have carpentry. For carpentry, it is on order basis. We make everything from wardrobes to beds to chairs, anything that of your design. Because we treasure our quality to design. It is the customer's design, not just any design. We don't post designs, but what you have, your dream of what you need is exactly what we make. And then we also have surgical logistics, which is basically on Sedona, Kampala, Old Kampala Road, where we deal with anything, tax clearances, tin making of tin numbers, and also clearing of goods at the port from Malaba and all that, those who are bringing their cargo. And lastly, there is also a boutique at Wandegeya Market, opposite Wandegeya Market. It's called Saja, where we sell men's clothes specifically. So men's clothes.
You're really multitasking.
Yeah, you know, as a man, as a man, you have to always have more than one source of income.
That brings me to quite a question. Are you seeing anyone? Because as a man, you must be seeing someone.
So, me as a person, I'm, how can I say?
Singular, don't lie.
Singular is a big word.
Honorable, do not lie.
I'm a person who is aspiring to get married.
That is quite impressive.
Yes, I'm aspiring to get married. And inshallah, if all goes well, there shall be a nikah, inshallah.
Mama.
Yes.
Okay, so leaving back to that, who is Mr. Hassan Wasswa? So we have left the Prime Minister in office, we left the CEO Wahaka in office, and then we're looking at Hassan himself, personally. You, who is Hassan? Maybe Hassan, who is Hassan? Bamzalawa.
Okay.
I know hobbies chi. Like in his personal time. So if I want to be a friend to Hassan, I have to be knowing basically who he is. That biography, that videography that you're going to give us about yourself, a detailed one.
Oh, okay. So already as already introduced Kakembo Hassan Wasswa, so I'm a twin, obviously.
Wow.
I have a twin brother. He's called Mr. Chikomeko Hussein Kato. He's a computer genius. He studied and finished. So
how comes you're still in the system?
Yeah, I'm still in the system, but he finished and he's actually working. And as a person, I actually usually call myself an introvert, but though I'm at a lesser extent.
You are an extrovert.
Yes, because I'm a person who has less friends, but I value friendship. So I have less friends, but the less that I have is more value to me than the many out there.
What are the hobbies?
Hobbies, how can I say it? So, my hobbies, of course I'm a foodie, naturally. I love eating.
Because I've seen almost all the things that you're dealing with are kind of connecting to catering.
Yes.
Food.
Yes. So naturally, and that is one of the prerequisites of being my wife.
Wow.
You have to know exactly how to cook. And I love swimming. I love badminton. I love tennis. And I also love watching football, not watching. So I watch football, but I don't play football that much. But otherwise, those are my hobbies.
So who are the parents of Kakembo Hassan Wasswa?
So I'm a proud son of 2 teachers.
Wow.
Mr. and Haji Sesanga Sulait Suli, an accountant, a lecturer of literature.
Ooh.
He was a former lecturer of literature at Serie University. And right now, he's a tax accountant. He works mostly in taxes. And my mom, the beautiful lady, Hajat Navi Mbazijanat. She was a teacher at Kololo High. She taught IRA and history for almost 15 years. So she has been teaching in the system.
I really wonder why you did not take on that teaching thing, because it seems like it's in the blood. Why doing law?
It's in the blood, but we have to be different. We have to take up
a different
new
legacy
paths so that we can expand the knowledge that we have.
That says a lot.
Yes.
So any last words to our viewers today, or any last message out there that maybe we haven't tackled that you'd love to present to our viewers?
So the last message I'll give you to be a simple quote that a man once said that lay low as an envelope. Only get up when it's time to say checkmate. I don't know if you get that.
That is a lot of literature.
Do not spread your successes before it is time. You understand? Go at a low rate. Like, don't let people know what you're doing.
What your next move is.
Yes. Only let them know when it is time to say checkmate. You understand? The day you buy a Brabus, let that be the checkmate. Let people be amazed and like, hey, this guy is successful. But not show off when you're still working. Keep calm and be humble until it is time to do what? To come out and say, you know what? Now I'm somewhere. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kakembo Hassan Wasswa. That has been the Prime Minister on our spotlight today. We have learned a lot from him, and I hope you as well have learned. Love you so much. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sit back and relax. This is the Serie show coming up.